Hello, this is video 2, take 4, maybe. Like a rat in a maze. I am slowly self-learning how to do these videos properly and ironing out the bugs. And speaking of bugs, my topic for today, I'm sticking with the same topic as last time, and that is this coronavirus epidemic and what's the latest news. Hey, the latest news as of yesterday is about Novavax vaccine. Gee, we hadn't been hearing much about Novavax since, well, forever, really, until yesterday. So what's the deal? What's happened? What is Novavax? It's a US-based company. It's based in Maryland. And the most interesting thing about this is if it comes to market in the US, this will be the third totally different type of vaccine. I told you last video that we have two basic types in the US right now. We have the mRNA, messenger RNA types, Pfizer and Moderna, and that class, if you can call just two representatives a class, seems to have this rare side effect of anaphylactic reactions in a few people. That's a severe allergic reaction occurring within the first 4 hours. And then the second class being deactivated virus. In the US, that's Johnson & Johnson. There's other ones in other countries in the world. AstraZeneca uses that too. That one may have a class effect of blood clots, which is a big problem with the infection itself too, with the COVID infection, blood clots. But this is a third class. So what is it? It's a protein. So big advantage. No genetic material. There's no DNA, there's no RNA, just a protein. What protein are they using? It's the spike protein, of course. It's the same thing that most of these other vaccines are trying to mobilize our body against. Block that spike on the surface of the virus. If you can block the spike from working, you stop the virus before it even gets into the cell. And then it's not contagious for us. We don't get infected. So you got the spike protein in this Novavax, and what else? There's this secret ingredient, matrix M. What is in matrix M from outer space? Well, I don't know all the ingredients, but the main ingredient, I've got to look down to say this properly. It's a Spanish phrase, quillaja saponaria, or in plain English, it's saponin, which comes from the Chilean soap tree. And before any of you go out and buy Chilean soap tree futures, or start a new Greenpeace movement dedicated to preserving the Chilean soap tree, let me add that the company intends to keep this whole process eco-friendly, environmentally sustainable. They're not going to cut down trees to get this extract. They're going to just prune some branches off of existing trees. The trees can replace branches and we get the extract from it. So everyone in Chile, the landowners, the manufacturers extracting it, the whole country should now have a real motivation to preserve their soap trees because they're worth a lot of money. It's certainly better than clear cutting large tracts of land to make a farm, or just letting wildfires burn hundreds of thousands of trees. Like last summer, Chile had terrible forest fires, wildfires, because of the hot summer and the global warming. So they extract it from this tree. This has been used, Novavax already supplies it as for an adjuvant to other vaccines. It's been used in other materials too. This stuff, this saponin, is used in things like Slurpees and root beer, because it produces a frothy kind of a liquid, a brown frothy stuff, which is why one of the side effects of getting the Novavax vaccine is kind of a root beer flavor in your mouth. Okay, I'm kidding. I made that up. It doesn't do that. But anyhow, adjuvants have been used for a long time. About 40% of the world's vaccines are protein, and the great bulk of them use an adjuvant to greatly boost up the immune reaction, maybe 4 or 5 times as big as it would be just to the protein alone. So how does the adjuvant work? Well, first of all, it tries to hold that vaccine in a small area, not let it just immediately spread out everywhere in the body where it doesn't produce the maximum reaction. If you can hold it in the area around where you got the shot for a while, then the local immune cells and circulating immune cells in the blood, they say, hey guys, over here, there's something happening over here. We need to defend against it. So it boosts up the immune response. It also, a lot of these adjuvants have their own direct action on the immune system to encourage a stronger response. One adjuvant used to be used a lot is aluminum. Aluminum, I thought that caused Alzheimer's disease. Well, yeah, or studies did say that there's higher concentrations of aluminum in the brains of these patients that had Alzheimer's disease than in normal brains. And then there was a big movement of let's stop using aluminum pans. And in point of fact, you don't see that many plain aluminum pans on the market anymore, not like when I was a kid. If it's aluminum, most of them seem to be coated with a Teflon-like substance, so the food is not coming directly in contact with the aluminum. You know, fringe side effect, things don't stick. But anyhow, that's off to the side. How effective is Novavax as a vaccine? Well, we still have small numbers right now in their clinical trials. We're talking about thousands, certainly not millions like we have with Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson at this point. The preliminary data look good. They had intended to submit for an emergency use authorization in the second quarter of this year. They were delayed, not by their own manufacturing problems. No, they were delayed by obtaining enough of the raw materials because the whole world is trying to make billions and billions of doses of new vaccine. Hundreds of companies around the world are scrambling to get the raw materials they need. And Novavax had trouble obtaining enough to make millions of doses. But they've got it, and they feel they're on track to submit in the third quarter. It would be somewhere in July, August, September. If things go smoothly, if their data looks good, if the FDA acts pretty promptly, that we might actually see the vaccine on the market by the fourth quarter of this year. And of course, they've missed the big peak rush of getting vaccinated, so they'll be playing catch up to some degree. But a bonus for them is this is fairly easy and inexpensive to make compared to a more novel technology like the mRNA vaccines Pfizer and Moderna are making. I was talking about holding the vaccine locally. That's maybe why some people get this big local reaction with a huge rash, or even looks like a bruise, or soreness in their arm for lasting a week or two, maybe in an area as large as the palm of your hand on the arm. That's because it's trying to hold some of the vaccine in that area for a peak immune response. And boy, you feel the response, some people do, for as long as a week or two. Safety. Well, the plus is in the trials they've had so far, they haven't found any severe side effects other than that root beer taste in the mouth. But again, we'll have to wait and see if it comes to market. This is true with any medicine or even other products for that matter, cars, anything. You really got to wait to mass market it and have millions of people of every type try it out before you're going to know everything about the product and how it's going to react in all different kinds of people. So it's a little early yet. Initial data look encouraging. Most interesting of all, it's a third totally different technology. If you didn't like the first technology, the mRNA, and you didn't like the second, a deactivated virus, here's a third, just the spike protein with its matrix M adjuvant. Yes. There was something else funny I was going to say in there. Oh, well, AstraZeneca, I don't think the US is ever going to approve AstraZeneca for emergency use. We had already bought millions of doses of the stuff in advance. Now we're just going to give it away mostly to India, I think, because they made it, but they sold it all to us for money. But now they have one of the worst outbreaks in the world in their own population, and they don't have the vaccine to give to people. So we're giving it back. Here, take your AstraZeneca. We don't want it. I tend to think it wasn't as good as the three that we have right now, anyhow. Although I'm sorry, China, but it's still better than Sinovac, but not as good as the three we have right now. So will Novavax be as good? And will it be even safer? Stay tuned. I think we're going to find out. Have a good day.